Thanks for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm not a professional speaker, but in the next 15 minutes, hopefully, I'll be able to teach you a few things. As John mentioned, Brisbane Fitness and Health Expo, we started 5 years ago, actually sold that in February. Brisbane Hair and Beauty, we own and run that. It's an event we own and run. I've worked with the Broncos, Rugby World Cup 2003, fingers crossed for Sunday morning. Hopefully we can do it. So I've worked with a lot of big events, and you're probably going to tell me that's well and good, Jason, that's fantastic, but I'm not superhuman. I've got no events experience, and my budget's about $500 a year, not $5 million. My response to that is, hopefully over the next 15 minutes I'll make you into a rock star. Nothing promised, but everything that I'll talk about today can be very much done on a budget of zero. A lot of our clients, I work with Queensland Rifle Association out at Belmont, for example. As you can imagine, their budgets aren't what the Broncos or Rugby World Cup budgets are. So I'll get straight into it. I guess there's a couple of questions initially that I'll just outline. I'm very conscious of time and I'm going to fly through a lot of this. But why would you stage an event? This is just, I guess, a few common reasons that you'd stage an event. You want to forge new relationships. We're all here today to forge new relationships from a networking perspective. That could be your primary objective. It could be simply just to build your lists. From a database perspective, you might just want to build databases for further communication. It might simply be to raise brand awareness. It might be a new product launch. You might have a new part of your business, a new product that you're launching, a great opportunity to stage an event. Could be an event for 10 people, it could be for 10,000, it really doesn't matter. To add credibility, become a person of influence. I guess we're talking here today to share our expertise, if you like, and that could be the particular reason that you'll stage an event to raise your credibility in the marketplace and in your individual industries. Purely to generate sales. It could be the objective, could be purely to make sales at the event on that particular night, to sell books, to whatever it might be. That could be the sole reason that you're staging an event. Media and PR, again, great way to raise your profile of your business through media and PR. Obviously, you'd need to have a hook in that instance, be that a new product or a celebrity endorsement, whatever it might be, to try and get media along to it. With our fitness expo, for example, we got one of Australia's strongest women to pull a 2-ton truck in the Queen Street Mall, those types of things. We got every television station there. It cost us nothing. It cost us $250 to hire the Queen Street Mall for the day. But those sorts of things will generate media and PR. And maybe you just want to hold an event to give back. It could be a charitable event or a good corporate citizen type of an event. They're all very common reasons as to why you would stage an event. The types of events that you might stage, running through quickly: networking events, customer appreciation events. It might be simply for your customers. The only people attending that are your customers. You want to get them together at the end of the year, end of financial year, that type of thing. Product launches we've spoken about. Corporate hospitality is a great way of tagging on to another existing event and entertaining clients. Business seminars, once again, to share your knowledge, that type of thing. Charity fundraisers, golf days, and even webinars. Obviously, face-to-face, we're here tonight. There's a lot of advantages in face-to-face events as opposed to webinars, but they have their own place as well. But I'm really here tonight to talk about face-to-face events. That's my area of expertise. So a couple of 6 tips that I've put together for tonight as to how to run, or things not to forget when you're running an event. The one primary thing that, and this is a marketing, I'm a marketer by trade, and the one thing that you cannot forget in planning an event is who is your target market. You've got to keep that. The fact that you love Moe champagne doesn't mean that you serve Moe champagne at your event, particularly if it's a trucking convention or so you really need to target everything that you're going to do in that event around the target market, and just keep bringing that back to you. Hang on a minute, I love Verve champagne, but maybe this is, that type of, why am I talking about champagne? Those types of things need to be top of mind. Select your guest list very carefully. Obviously, you want people in the room that are going to help you achieve your objective. So make sure that you get the right people in the room and make them RSVP. I've seen some disastrous events where they thought they were getting 200 people and 20 people turn up. Make them RSVP. I've got an Eventbrite there. If you're holding a free event, you can use an online portal called Eventbrite for free, and they charge a small fee if it's a charged event. But make sure you get an RSVP so that you do know how many people are coming. Leaving plenty of time, and we're all guilty of this. It's like, I haven't got the invitations out. I will just stop and start again and put the event date back. You really need to have enough time to plan the event, and also time for people to invite your guests. If it's a paid event, so if you're having a paid event, I'd recommend 8 weeks at least. Get invitations out at least 8 weeks prior to staging that particular event. If it's a free event, you can probably afford to go a little bit later. But in general terms, 8 weeks for a paid event is sort of where I would be at. You can go out too early, and there's nothing wrong with being too early. It just means that your marketing efforts will have to be spread over a longer period of time, but that's fine. Marketing or follow-up is critical. It's not a case of build it and they will come. Getting on the phones with all of our expos. We had Fitness Expo before we sold it in February. We had 160 exhibitors. We knew every one of them individually. We spoke to them on the phone numerous times. We knew everything about them. Likewise with follow-up, we've got a corporate event that we're doing Friday week. 600 people at the RNA. We've got on the phones the last 2 weeks and started ringing people, trying to get them to that event. You can't just send invitations out, cross your fingers and hope they turn up. Well, you can, but the results will probably speak for themselves. So you really need to follow up. That's really, really critical. Select your content carefully. That probably links back to point number 1 in making sure that the content and what you're going to do at the event, when you put your run sheet together, make sure that you're, again, remembering the target market and ensuring that the content is going to be relevant to them. Obviously, you don't want to get up there and tell a 45-minute story on the history of your event and people are falling asleep and looking for the moe at the back of the room, that type of thing. And finally, just follow up with a thank you after the event. Obviously, you'll gather information. You'll probably have, through the RSVP process, you'll have email addresses, you'll have even mobile phones, SMS them, whatever it might be, just as a follow-up to thank them for their attendance at the event, and potentially to start that sales process even further, depending on what your objectives are. I guess just to turn it up a notch, these are some other things. Don't forget theming and music. There's nothing worse than walking into a small venue and there's no music and you're the first one into the room and it's dead silence, and it's like, just try and get a bit of music going, keep the atmosphere going. I love the fact that you can go to an event and you're sent the invitation list prior to it, depending on what the event is. But if it's a networking event, to actually find out who's in the room prior to actually going to that event is a great advantage. When I was at the marketing manager of the Broncos, we took 265 of our closest friends, sponsors, over to New Zealand for the first game against the Auckland Warriors, and our chairman got up in front of those 265 people and said, if you leave this weekend without a deal done, then you're an idiot. And I love that sort of attitude of, if there's someone in the room that you want to meet, go to the organiser. And we do this all the time. Come and see me if you want to meet the marketing manager of the Bank of Queensland who's coming to that event. We send people out lists all the time to try and preempt those sorts of relationships as much as possible. Hashtag, John's already beat me to the hashtags. Always create, if you can, a hashtag for an event. Name tags or not to name tag, again, it's a bit of a personal thing, but certainly from a networking perspective, if you're there to sell things and the objective is very different to networking, maybe not do name tags, but certainly if there's any element of networking, get name tags on people. Brevity is king. That's why I'm here for 15 minutes, 4 minutes, 57 to go. Partners and sponsors. Potentially there could be a similar business to yours that's got the same target market that you can partner with. Or there might be a supplier, a printer that you work with that wants to get in front of the same target market. Look for those sorts of partnerships where you can. Over-cater, don't under-cater. If you're going somewhere, if you're going to an event for a meal, the last thing you want to do is stop in at Macca's at 11:45 on the way home, as I'm sure we've all done on occasions. Make sure you over-cater rather than under-cater. They'll remember if you under-cater. They won't remember if you over-cater. Get some help. Don't try and do it all yourself. I'm sure that we use marketing students, event management students every day of the week. We have one in our office. They're dying to get this type of an experience. Contact your local TAFE, your local university. Try and get hold of an event management student just to help you out, particularly in the lead up, but also on the day. Thereafter that sort of experience, give them a certificate when they're finished to thank them for their work that they've done. Do something that's memorable. That could be a gift that you give them at the end. It could be a celebrity that turns up to the event unannounced. Just do something that it could be a variety of different things. I won't go into too much detail there. And once again, we've already said thank them. I've got a very quick amount of time left. This is just a couple of cool ideas that I'm just throwing out there. And again, you could do these on a budget of $0, or I'll go back a couple of bottles of champagne or something. Ping pong, one of the best events I've ever been to is a corporate ping pong challenge. You had no idea when you rocked up and you got your sweatbands and your headband as you walk through the door, and you're just going, what the hell? They had the ping pong table set up in their boardroom. It was just fantastic. Ping pong's something that no one's really good at. There's probably a few sharks in the room, but in reality, it's just lawn bowls are similar. You know, people just love to embarrass themselves, basically. Learn how to cook. The Norman Hotel, I'm not on commission here. Norman Hotel do a great event where you can take your clients along, learn how to cook steak properly. Just a fun thing to do. Good mate of mine, Darren Davis, will come along to your boardroom and do wine tastings. He knows everything there is to know about the Barossa. Get him into your boardroom. He'll bring the wines in. Cost you $300 to have him and the wine for the night. DeBella Coffee. They can do a tour over at Bowen Hills. They've got a big boardroom upstairs you can use. Go and do a coffee tour around the coffee, all the making. Then you can go up and use their boardroom. Cost you next to nothing. Hire Pat Rafter Arena. Cost you $200 for Pat Rafter Arena. Take your top 10 clients along, $20 each. It's something that they'll never, ever, ever forget. Even though they can't, and we've done this with our clients, even though they can't swing a racket, it's just the best hour you'll have, and you'll have it all on video hopefully, so you can replay it and photos, and you can remind them around times that they've got to renegotiate contracts and things like that. Finally, alistguide.com.au, wonderful resource. It's got a heap of unique venues in it, venues that you've never even thought about before, venues that we've never thought about before. Suppliers, you need benches for your event. It'll all be on that particular site. Caterers, everything that you need, alistguide.com.au. So with 1 minute and 6 seconds to go, that's the end of my presentation.